Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Directionally Speaking. I'm Jeff Zentz, the Senior Director of Innovation for Agronovis, Indiana, and we're here highlighting another great innovator in our ecosystem. I'm with Chris Light of E-Livestock Global, and we'll be talking a bit about innovation from his perspective, what he's working on. And with that, I'd love it if I could get Chris to give a quick intro of himself and E-Livestock Global.
Sure. What a pleasure. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate the opportunity and also being part of Velocity. I'm a serial entrepreneur, 25 plus years working with technology, a lot of it in the innovation space around sort of solving some of the world's most complex problems or basically try to improve outcomes for people. So E-Livestock is the fourth company I founded, and it's what brings us here today.
That's awesome, Chris. And it's always exciting to work with and get to talk to a serial entrepreneur. Can you give us a little bit more information on what exactly E-Livestock is doing and how you are making an impact into that challenging space?
Well, like many startups, there was the issue that we tried to address, and then there's what we wound up doing, and we started out by trying to basically better help smallholder ranchers respond to sort of a livestock disease outbreak. So we created we basically gave cattle an identity in the pilot case, and then tied that to a simplified electronic health record. And then because this was about 5 years ago, the cool tech of the day was blockchain. So we used blockchain for provenance, and from there we created basically a cow record, which has unlocked all kinds of other opportunities.
It's awesome. And so, one, you are founding a company solving a problem, obviously, for ranchers, farmers, but also you're using what at the time was cutting edge technology. Like, how did you find that path? Like, how did you end up down that? Do you come from a background of livestock, or did you stumble into this? How did you find this problem space to be in?
Well, in a former life, I was actually a technology advisor for the Presidential Initiative to End Hunger in Africa. So I've been working with technology for so long, and also in the agriculture area. I'm not a farmer or rancher myself. It is one of the thematic areas that I've worked in. But yeah, I always look for how, while being a sort of a healthy technology skeptic, and that you can't just solve all your problems with technology. I look for ways to do that, and in this case, in the agriculture space.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tell us a little bit more of platform adoption. How has the solution been received? Where are you on market? What success are you seeing at the current moment?
Well, we were a little surprised when I incorporated in October. There were two things I had to do. One was we potentially had MasterCard as a technology partner, so I sort of incorporated, and then actually, sorry, before incorporating, I actually went up to New York to meet with MasterCard and pitched them on the idea of how we could use blockchain for provenance and livestock, and then from there I said, oh, I'll incorporate by the end of October. So I actually incorporated right at the end of October, not afraid of the date, and then I had to go find a VC who would be interested in basically using blockchain for better traceability with livestock.
Sure. What is the feedback you've been getting from your potential customers? Like, does this drive, like, obviously it drives the data piece of making sure they're healthy and accounted for throughout the process, but are they finding that they're able to get, better return on value for using technology like that? So what does that ROI look like for them?
Yeah, funnily enough, there's and we're in the U.S., so when there's 5 countries in the world to use Carfax, more or less. So when I'm in an international, I do present E-Livestock in London, and they have it there too. But sometimes when I'm talking Carfax to an international audience, I do see it go over their heads. But yes, similar to Carfax, where a well-maintained vehicle which is accident-free tends to be worth more. We found that having this record of a healthy and well-maintained animal, it increases the value to the rancher, and that's invaluable, because basically from there they can trade it. They can the big use case that we're working on actually in the U.S. market right now is livestock is one of the largest movable assets. So collateralizing the animal provides using our system provides another financing source for farmers, so they can help to manage. They can time getting the animal to market or not. So
Yeah, and I'm sure it also impacts other things down the line, like risk mitigation, insurance, things like that. To have that, and not to mention the consumer will eventually, using your technology, will have a clear picture of what that livestock went through before potentially purchasing and bringing it home to their families, right?
yeah, and you and I have had some of these discussions that we can also look at things like tracking or whether it's organic or not, whether it's grass fed or not, what are the inputs, what's the environmental footprint. Basically, I kind of feel like livestock sometimes get a bad rap. They're no. A couple of years ago, plant-based alternatives were interesting, but we were always maintaining that a cow is actually pretty good at converting grass into protein. And you don't need a lab to do it. You can have them out in a happy field. So.
For sure. That's super good. Okay, Chris, I've peppered you with questions about E-Livestock. We'll get back to that, I guarantee. But I want to dive a little bit into Chris's journey as an entrepreneur. You mentioned serial entrepreneur for over 25 years. How did you start going down this path of entrepreneurship? What brought you to entrepreneurship in the short term?
One of the things is looking at solving, like if you're looking at technology on a project basis, you almost feel that there is a way that the solution developed could be instead of a general project, could be a private solution. So that's part of what led me to not so much the first three companies, but this company definitely. I had a situation where I thought, gosh, this is a great solution, but rather than it being something that the World Bank or the UN funds, it could be something that could be private sector, and it would be more sustainable that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. In line with that, do you have one or two big challenges that you've faced over the course of that time, whether it's with E-Livestock or maybe one of those previous companies that you learned a lot from that other entrepreneurs might be able to learn from?
Yeah, well, one is not because you have a cool solution doesn't mean you never want to be a solution in search of a problem, and just because you have something that you're trying to bring to market doesn't mean that you can drive customer adoption. I guess those are two. I really think one of the things that has been reinforced this time around is that the importance of asking customers and listening to customers, because at the same time remembering the story of Henry Ford, that if he'd asked his customers, they would have said faster horses, whereas but input is always helpful.
100%. And for those who are listening to this that are also part of either Velocity or previous, I didn't pay Chris to say that, but those problems or the solutions in search of problems are always challenging for founders, and it's always better to be the other side, be in love with what the customer is experiencing and find that pain point. And I think you've done that with E-Livestock. We're really excited about what you've got going. So let's turn our attention a little bit toward being part of this first Velocity cohort. You're actually a team that has had experience with Agronovus in the past. You were part of the final producer-led innovation challenge, and now you're part of Velocity. What in the next 6 months, where do you hope that Velocity can help E-Livestock Global in that time frame?
Well, I think it's interesting in that if you're thinking about it from a beef prices perspective, beef's pretty high right now. But we'd like to be able to demonstrate how our system can further the sweet spot. Ideally, we'd like to find some ranchers, ideally who are fairly active on social media to sort of pilot our system with and demonstrate the value. And I think that would be a win-win for certainly. It's great that we win, but I think it would also be a great win for Indiana as well.
100%. And let's use this as that plug. Like if you are a livestock producer in the state, especially beef, what does that core pilot type of customer look like, or partner that you might be looking for to have that conversation with?
Yeah, someone who's interested in differentiating themselves a little bit from the herd, so to
Pun
speak.
intended.
If you want to become a little bit more of a brand, like we're all familiar with some of the groups that people order from by name. I don't want to advertise for them here, but yeah, someone who wants to. But I think a little bit, having been around agriculture, the more you can sell direct, the higher your yields can be. So I think someone who wants to who has a great product that they want to differentiate a little bit, we could be that platform.
That's 100%. And those who are listening to this, if you fit that bill or you know somebody who does fit that bill, you'll have contact information in the show notes of this conversation to be able to reach out to the AgriNovus team and get a hold of Chris. We would love to make that connection and help move E-Livestock forward. Chris, with that on the table for potential pilot customers and folks that we could partner with, are there any other places that you're looking for connectivity or resources from the overall Indiana ecosystem?
Well, I think it's also our system. While we started with cattle, it also works with pigs and sheep and goats. So certainly, I know pigs might be another opportunity area. And actually, some of the meetings I had this week, just hearing from one of the financial institutions we're thinking about partnering with, just some of the opportunities they see in the livestock area. I think that could be so definitely diversity, and also we could go if there's someone who's interested in the One Health aspects of livestock, that could be another thing. We certainly people do pay a premium for as we say, for the well-raised animal, so we'd like to be able to contribute to that.
100%. And you have a solution to help not only contribute to that, but also help track it and make sure that everything is above board and getting the value that people are paying for. Chris, I have one last question for you, and then we'll let you go. This has been a fantastic conversation. Thinking about, the foreseeable future for E-Livestock and for yourself, where are the ambitions? Where is the business going? And where do you hope to be in the next few years as far as the business?
Well, it's interesting. Before I did an ag startup, I didn't realize that a lot of the exits for agriculture startups are acquisitions. So I guess we want to have happy customers, but we realize we need a lot of animals under our livestock census should be quite substantial, and then that will help to increase the value of the company. But that being said, I'm hoping to do this for 5, 10, 15 more years. So hopefully we can all grow together.
Chris, we're thankful that you're part of this and that we're able to help support you and that you see opportunity in Indiana. We're thankful for the work that you're doing, and we're thankful that you spent some time with me today to talk about your journey, E-Livestock Global, and kind of the future. So thank you for the time. Thanks for being willing to be here, and we'll wrap the show there, and Take care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.